How to save money, Warren Buffett tips. Michael is turning 40 and feeling really sad. A long time ago, he wanted to spend a lot of time with his family. He used to wish he could have an extra day off every Monday, and dreamed of getting out of the busy and stressful routine of life to follow his dreams. But he ended up spending his whole life working from early morning until late evening. Even though he tried hard to escape the busy life and gave everything he had, he made a few mistakes that kept him from enjoying financial freedom. If you want to become financially free early by thinking and taking actions on Warren Buffett's advice and avoid making the same mistakes as Michael, make sure to watch this video all the way through. Just click the subscribe button and we'll give you valuable insights, tips, and strategies to help you achieve financial independence. Warren Buffett saving tip number 1. Buy things what you actually need. Mr. Buffett has a famous saying, "If you buy things you don't need, you'll end up selling things you do need." This is a great example of how to live your life according to Warren Buffett. Instead of wasting your money on unnecessary things that are on sale online, you can save it by finding new uses for things you already have. For example, you can turn a dresser into a bassinet. So, the next time you see a big discount, take a moment to think if you really need that item. Warren Buffett saving tip number 2. Eliminate credit cards from your life. This might surprise you, but according to a report on MarketWatch, Warren Buffett mostly uses cash to pay for things he really needs. It's hard to believe because people like us often use credit cards. But billionaires like Warren Buffett prefer cash for most of their transactions. In an interview with Yahoo Finance, he mentioned that he has an American Express card, but he still pays with cash 98% of the time. Many people think that credit cards make life easier, but that's not entirely true. Well, the problem is, we tend to follow others' opinions when making decisions. And finance companies take advantage of this by advertising the benefits of credit cards. However, it's actually an illusion because it encourages us to overspend. When you have enough money in your wallet or bank account, you can buy something. But with a credit card, you can simply swipe and buy, which can lead to overspending. If you want to save your hard-earned money, it's a good idea to reduce the use of credit cards. Getting rid of a credit card can be challenging, but here are some tips you can try. Make a plan for your money by creating a budget. Decide how much you can spend each month or week, and keep track of what you spend. This will show you where you're spending money unnecessarily. Instead of using a credit card, try using a debit card. It might not be as convenient, but it will prevent you from owing money to credit card companies whenever you make a purchase. Try using different ways to pay for things. You can use cash or checks, or anything else that makes you feel good. These methods might not be as easy as using a credit card, but they can stop you from owing money. Warren Buffett saving tip number 3. Do not show off. Can I ask you a simple question? You always wear clothes and watches with fancy brand names, but do those brands pay you? Absolutely not. When you go to parties, events, or use social media, you indirectly promote those brands, but they don't give you any money for it. Actually, buying expensive things online puts a strain on your bank account. The interesting thing is that you don't buy those brand name products for yourself. You just own them to show off and feel like you have that brand. Mr. Buffett strongly disagrees with this way of thinking. He only buys something when he actually needs it. Many of us get really excited when we hear about a new iPhone coming out, or see a new luxury car that we could buy with installment plans. And without thinking twice, we just go for it. However, Warren Buffett isn't really into really expensive cars. In 2014, a report from Forbes stated that Mr. Buffett purchased a Cadillac XTS after driving his previous Cadillac DTS for 8 years. He also changed to an iPhone in 2020 after using a $20 flip phone from Samsung for quite a few years. Warren Buffett saving tip number 4. Do not splurge a significant amount on dining out. You might remember a scene from a movie called Richie Rich. In that scene, people dream about having their own McDonald's if they were as rich as Warren Buffett. Well-known brands like McDonald's, Starbucks, and KFC create an illusion that makes us feel fortunate when we spend a lot of money on their products. However, real billionaires like Warren Buffett don't actually spend their money on these things. Instead, they make smart choices and find other options. For example, Warren Buffett could easily hire a world-class chef to cook his favorite meals all day long. Or he could eat at the most expensive restaurants more than thrice a day if he wanted to. However, he chooses to have a cheap breakfast from McDonald's, and he's known for making his own lunches. Sometimes he doesn't even buy coffee from the store. He prefers to make his own at home. In a documentary called Becoming Buffett, he mentioned that he sometimes goes for a breakfast option that costs $2.61 and includes sausage, eggs, and a can of Coke. We can learn something from the way Warren Buffett lives his life. It's not a good idea to spend a lot of money on fancy food just to take pictures and post them on social media. In the long term, this habit can drain your bank account. Warren Buffett saving tip number 5: avoid borrowing money to finance your lifestyle. In today's world, we need certain things to make our lives easier. So, we end up borrowing money from different banks or companies. These things include a fancy phone like an iPhone, a nice car, and a big, fully furnished house with all the fancy stuff. We all have many things we want, and loan companies are willing to lend us money to fulfill those wishes. It's easy to take advantage of this opportunity. However, Warren Buffett, a very successful investor, doesn't usually borrow money, except for when he buys a house. He only had one mortgage in his life, which was for a vacation home he bought in 1971. According to Buffett, if you get a 30-year mortgage, it's the best option available. In an interview with Yahoo Finance, Buffett explained that he believed he could use the money in a more profitable way, instead of paying for the house all at once. Although loans require you to pay interest, mortgages usually have lower interest rates compared to personal loans or credit cards. Once you fully repay the mortgage, you become the owner of the home. Borrowing money can be a good thing when you really need it to survive. However, if you're going to spend the money on luxury and unnecessary things, it's not a wise decision. I hope you start looking at things differently and think more like Warren Buffett. Knowing about finances is really important if you want to become rich. Our channel is here to assist you in every way possible. So remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates.